This is not an original colorway, but it should be. Hey, what's good guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and review on a shoe that we've done before, but we're gonna do it again because this colorway is cool.
Third time's a charm.
Have we done these? This is the third time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I think this is the best colorway though. I do. You guys can let me know. I know that originals are usually like the mainstay, the go-to, but like this looks like a PE they never released, that never was made either. I looked. I couldn't find anything about these being made back in the day, and I thought maybe that they were pulling a Jordan brand and just kind of like taking from old stuff that used to be that never dropped and dropping it now. And I don't find these anywhere, or I cannot find these anywhere. So feel free to let me know if you're a Barkley head and you know way more about Barkley shoes than I do, which is not going to be surprising because I'm kind of a Jordan head. But if you know about these, like if this was an original PE at one point, I'd love to know, because that's how they look, that's how they feel, and I think that this is like a perfect kind of like new colorway if this is not an original colorway or PE. And I just was like, man, why didn't they drop these like a long ass time ago? These are fantastic. So this right here is the Nike Air Max 2, or squared, depends on how you think about it. CB94. It's one of Charles Barkley's many signature shoes. We actually just did a complete guide or history on Charles's shoes. Not every shoe was in the video that he's ever worn, but the majority of them were, and all of his signatures were actually in there. And I do agree with Evan, who did that video, that one of the Barkley shoes that I would love to see re-released has never been retroed before, and it was his very last model. I can't remember what the name of them is. I want to say it was like the Super CB, or is it CB4 Low or something like that, the CB4 2 Low. I don't remember what they're called, but they have a full-length Air Max unit. It's the same exact tooling as the Air Total Max Uptempo, but that shoe I think should be re-released, man. They only came out in two original colorways. The navy and white one was my favorite, and I don't know why that they have not yet, but they should. Now the outsole on these guys are interesting because it's not traditional. It's a weird ass design. I don't even know what it is, but it looks cool, so I like it. It looks 90s, and I think it's really interesting. I love the colors on this one as well. I think that this orange pops like crazy. I don't even like orange, but man, it looks so good here. And this goes right into my whole thing of like my personal preference for a lot of signature shoes. I love all the weird colors. I love all the special editions, the All-Stars, the Xmas days, all of that stuff. But if we don't get a shoe that is in the uniform color, home and away, of the athlete, then there's a huge missed opportunity there. Like that's one of the coolest parts about Jordans, is there was like a black and red or a white and red. You know what I mean? Like there was like a home and away and all that stuff. And I always thought that that stuff was really cool. It made me really want those versions of the shoes because it matched the player's jersey. And with the Barkley shoe, we didn't get a lot of that. It was a lot of just simple black white or white black. They did have a couple of them that were like this, you know, with the full length. I can't remember what those are called either. That is the one with the Godzilla like claw marks on the upper and everything. They had a colorway that was just like this, and I think it looks great. But when you see it like this, it just makes more sense to me. I think that this looks so cool. Now the tech specs on the originals is a little bit different from what I could feel on these newer ones. These are actually pretty comfortable, which is really surprising because the foam midsole is supposed to be polyurethane. I don't know if it is because it does not feel like it. It doesn't look like it. I'll be surprised if it is. If it is polyurethane and it's just a nice open-celled version, then this is the stuff that we should be getting on Jordan Retros. The stuff that's fluffy, that will break down faster, which sucks, but at least it's comfortable underfoot. It doesn't feel like a brick. However, the original tech specs is what I'll read to you, and it's directly from East Bay magazine. So it says the Air Max Squared, or Air Max 2 CB Mid, built for the tough game that Charles Barkley plays. Nike packed it full of cushioning, stability, and fit with special dual density air sole units that add maximum cushioning and impact protection. That's my one question. It says units. So does that mean heel and forefoot, or does it just mean heel? Because it doesn't specify, and the Air Max unit in the heel is supposed to be an Air Max 2 or an Air Max Squared unit, which means that there was two chambers in there. There was one that's the surrounding layer, and then there was one that was the pillow layer or the crash pad layer directly underneath your heel. I don't know if that's what they're talking about with units, or if it's, again, there's one encapsulated in the forefoot like there used to be with Jordans. Either way, these are comfortable, so I dig it. And then on top of that, they also have outriggers right here that looks like Godzilla's feet and all that stuff. I don't know what Godzilla's feet look like, but apparently they look like this. Now the upper is okay. It's not anything crazy. It is actual leather. It's just a particle board version of leather. So it's soft to the touch. It's soft enough. It's not anything premium or anything like that, but you know, for Nike and everything, it is what it is. I really like the 34 on there. I do wish that this was more like in line with the rest of the stitching. So the Nike branding right there is purple. The 34 is black. I think that it should have kept the same thing or done the shadow box that the 23 on the Air Jordan 5 PEs have, where it's like purple with orange underneath or vice versa. I think that that would have looked really cool. Or if it was black with orange under or black with purple under. Yeah. No?
You just wanted more color.
Just something extra to make it really pop. It would have looked cool. However, the rear still has the Nike Air on the back, even though it's kind of crooked to the side, but you know, that's Nike's current quality. Like, check this out. I don't know if you guys can see it, but you guys can hear that, right? Yeah, that's not an even sole. So craftsmanship definitely could use some work, but the look of the shoe is still good. And then one of the most notable features is the inner sleeve. This is actually really popular back in the day, especially the mid 90s. A lot of shoes had this. This is very similar to the sleeve that you'll find inside of an Air Jordan 9. This also makes it really difficult to get into, especially because this little guy right there, which you can't even see from a profile, so he's like tucked under there. But that thing makes it almost impossible to get your foot into these things, especially with the bungees that are on there. But back in the day, it was a little bit easier and it just really hugged your foot while it was inside the shoe. It still feels good now once you're in. It just takes a minute, like you'll break a sweat trying to get inside of these things. And again, you have the bungees all the way down. I love these things, except for I've never liked this top one. It always blocks the logo. You know, they do this on the Air More Up Tempo and the Air Much Up Tempo as well. When you've got a logo that looks that cool, why are you covering it? This should be visible. And then you also have the speed lacing system right here. This doesn't work quite as good, I don't think, as the speed lace system on the Air Jordan 9, but these stayed tied a little bit better than those do. They actually have little slits inside of them. So they have the speed lace hole, and then they have slits so that when you like yank it up, it's supposed to cinch and stay in there so they don't come loose while you're playing. Now, as far as size is concerned, they do fit true to size. So whatever you typically wear, that's exactly what I would go with. You can go down half a size if you like a super snug fit, but again, it's gonna be really hard to get in there because of that back inner booties thing. I don't know why they don't like raise it up a little bit, because it really is difficult to get in there.
I wanted to take us somewhere else, but I don't want to like send you on a huge tangent.
Oh no.
But since we just did the video that Evan did so well on the history of Charles Barkley shoes on court, so for the most part he did almost all of the work on that. But this channel is a teamwork, and so I sat and watched it and finessed it and got a history lesson like everybody else. And I had told you afterwards that I only know Charles Barkley from like TNT or commercials, and I think he's fantastic and I love him on it. That one commercial right now where he's with a bunch of kids and he gets picked first and he's just like, yeah, in your face. And then that little kid, his eye roll, I love it every single time. He's just like, but so anyways, learning the history of what he was like when he was the man. What was some of his nicknames? Like
the round mound of rebound is one of my favorites. That rolls off the tongue so well. Like I'm just like, whoever came up with that needs a hug, man. Like that was awesome. Like nowadays, I wonder if that would get like, if you'd get like in trouble for.
Probably, but the thing is,
everybody's so sensitive now.
He got away with so much, and I'm like, how did you end up getting to the point where you're like this lovable guy on TNT?
I think that Chuck is the best example of an evolution within a person. So like his upbringing wasn't the greatest.
He was Zuko before Zuko.
Zuko is in a let's not compare, because I hold Zuko is one of my favorite characters ever. So I'm gonna set him off on his own little pedestal. I won't compare the two. Similar, yes, but yeah, Chuck had like, you know, anger issues, and like I said, he had a rough upbringing. He ended up making it to the NBA. He was from like a really small town and everything. You know, for him to have become what he became, and then even seeing where he's at now, like I think it's great seeing someone like that that can be so reflective upon himself and be like, yeah, I was an idiot. Those are like the best people to learn from. You know what I mean? Like they have the best philosophies and the best outlook on life, because whatever it is that you're going through, if you happen to like vent to them, like they can just pull out some like crazy ass shit. You'd be like, damn. I would say that instead of like Zuko, he's more like Uncle Iroh.
Oh, like I did some things.
I f***ed up a lot and I regret it, and now I'm this really great lovable guy that likes tea.
Yeah, let's have some tea.
So, you know what I mean? Like I think he's more like Iroh than Zuko, who is probably one of the second greatest characters ever. Like Uncle Iroh is amazing.
Delectable tea or deadly poison?
Anyways, they should make an Uncle Iroh shoe. Nike, if you can get an Avatar license, like do it before Netflix ruins it, please.
Actually, New Balance, if you could get a team up, I'll be all over that.
For real though. But anyways, these guys right here are supposed to release sometime. Supposedly they got pushed to June, but I've seen some retailers put them online now, so I don't know when they're releasing. All I know is just keep your eye out if you're a fan of this shoe, if you're a fan of Charles Barkley. Let me know what you think about about them down below in the comment section. Do you believe that this looks like it came straight from the 90s, even though it didn't? Like this colorway. Like, this is one of those few times when Nike like really nailed it. I would like to see whose idea this was and just be like, yo, good job, man. Like this shit's sick.
Here's my notes. Fix your 34.
It's not a note, it's just a suggestion, okay? It's just, I would like it to either match or pop out even more. That's all. It's not even a thing. Because everything else looks great, you know? I got nothing else to say, except for this. But that's not the design.
Make this taller.
Yeah, that's not the design guy, like the colorist's fault. That's a manufacturing thing. And I'm not gonna talk to them. They don't seem to listen at all. But thank you so much for everything, and until next time, guys, have a good one.